I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Trustee Secretary. Ms. Sullivan, appreciate you leading us in the pledge. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Penn-Harris-Madison Board of School Trustees. It is such a joy for us to be back at Discovery Middle School. 4 or 5 times throughout the year, we like to go to our schools and meet with our parents and hear from our students and see all the exciting things, how much is going on at Discovery Middle School. We're excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for carving out time on your Monday evening to join us in person. I just want to take a moment and recognize and thank everybody who is watching us via our live YouTube stream. We appreciate you being with us tonight as well. With that, we'll call the meeting to order. The first item on our agenda is always the most exciting one, which is the superintendent's recognitions and announcements. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley, Board of Trustees. Welcome to your own school, folks. It's one of the finest schools in America, Discovery Middle School, where they discover excellence. You know, I think about Discovery Middle School. It's one that I use in every single speech that I make. We think about the vision of excellence. Certainly this school exemplifies excellence. They have great leadership. How about our principal? Can you please stand, Mrs. Cunha? You are so amazing. And we talk about the triangle of success. This school may exemplify it as well as any school in the country. Not only are you ranked among the best in the state of Indiana, but you're in the best in the country, connecting students, teachers, and parents. So as I look at the parents, you have moved us with your involvement from good to great. You have done a great job and are role models. The teachers, you're extraordinary. You're doing great work every single day. And the kids, our students are the best. You're truly the best. So we're proud of that. So with all of you making that difference, I'm so proud to say that we're here at one of the finest schools in America with some of the finest people. So thank you for making a difference. And now we're going to hear from an amazing Penn High School Student Board Ambassador. So this will be Noah Schaefer. This is his last presentation as a Penn High School Ambassador. I'm proud to say that this young man is going to Stanford. How about a warm welcome, Noah?
All right. Well, good evening, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, members of the board. I'm excited to present to you all tonight, even if it's at Discovery Middle School instead of Schmucker. Discovery is pretty solid, even though I'm a former Schmucker Spartan. So today we're just going to be keeping it simple. We're going to update the sports, academics, fine arts, and see what's happening in Kingston Court. Because even though the school year is coming to an end, the Penn High School success never ends. So first, we're going to start with sports. Starting with boys track, my sport, we had a pretty successful season so far. We won the Caveman Classic, at which we set a 4x800 meter meet record and a pole vault meet record at that meet. We also won the prestigious Max Trucks, and we also won the NIC conference meet just last week. Similarly, the girls also won the NIC championship last week, so kudos to the girls. And they also placed second place at the prestigious Lady Kingsman Invite. Boys golf is also having a great season. They placed first at the Princess City Invitational and the Concord Invitational. They're off to a really great start. And boys volleyball, our newest sport at Penn High School, is doing great. They won the Elkhart tournament just a few weeks ago. And just on Saturday, they won the sectional. So they're going to be competing for a regional on Saturday. It's going to be really, really exciting. I have Mrs. Watts as a Spanish teacher, but I've heard she's also a pretty good volleyball coach. So shout out to her. The Penn baseball team is absolutely killing it this year. They're ranked #1. They also have a lot of top 5 wins over Crown Point, Carroll. They're absolutely sweeping everyone this year. The baseball team is really fun to watch if you haven't had a chance to go watch the baseball team. And on April 26th, the field was actually renamed after legendary coach Greg Dykes, and he's got the boys playing. So kudos to the baseball team. And then the Penn softball team currently is ranked #4 in the state. Also pretty good considering how competitive softball is, top 5 in the state. And Penn softball's Ava Zachary won the NHSCCCA National Athlete of the Year, an honor that Jake Bayless won last year. So being ranked top 4 in the state as a team, and then having the National Athlete of the Year for strength and conditioning on your team is a pretty good sign. So, Penn sports always killing it there in Penn athletics. But when are we not? We're Penn Kingsmen. We like to win. But outside of sports, which we're really good at, we're also very, very good academically. We had 14 graduating seniors participate in Project Lead the Way's first ever white coat ceremony for biomedical science seniors. So what this is people who are in the biomedical science class at Penn High School, and they actually plan to pursue becoming a doctor in schooling. We had this, even though they might not be doctors yet, just to keep on encouraging them and say that we're proud of them for actually taking the steps to become a doctor. Because you know what? We need a lot of doctors, and becoming a doctor is a lot of hard work. So kudos to them for actually going on that track. Personally, I don't think I could go in the medical field. I'm going to stick to law, which, law is so much fun, right? But we also see that we had the annual Penn Teacher Student Signing Day, which is equally as important. The educators are what shape our foundation, and honestly what shaped my foundation. So seeing that so many seniors are actually going to school, not just to party, but to actually enjoy the experience, yes, but to go out there and give back by teaching as their career profession. When a lot of people kind of question if they want to become teachers, that's really, really special. And shout out to all of those students who are going to actually become teachers. We need more teachers in the world. Speaking of which, we have some good awards we got to mention for students. First off, we have CJ Vantine. She won the C-SPAN Award in the student documentary competition. She was one of 150 student winners countrywide. CJ is actually in the back, so round of applause for CJ for winning that award. I haven't had a chance to watch the documentary yet, but if you do, please watch the documentary. I've heard only great things about it. I'll have to ask CJ for the link. I've heard it's really good. So congrats, CJ. Next up, we have Matthew Deal and Stanley Liu. They placed second at ICDC for DECA, and that's really exciting. That's the second time ever we had a Penn team place a high internationals for DECA. We're really making great strides in DECA, and shout out to Kyle Barris, because not only did we have Matthew and Stanley place top 2, we had the highest amount of people actually break into their final round. So what this means is they had to be top 10% of the entire world to actually get to that final round. So shout out to Chris Chen, and we had a few more. Chris Chen, Lena Khan, and Sabrina Fitwe, Freya Afak, and Caitlin to go, and then obviously Stanley and Matthew for breaking. So congrats to you guys for an awesome performance at ICDC. I also want to extend my congratulations to Tegan Wiki, Kenneth Curlis, Kai Xiao, and Jonathan Chen on earning first place in the state of Indiana for the Technology Students Association Teams Engineering Competition. We actually won state for, I think, for the first time in a while. I know my physics teacher is absolutely stoked about that. So anytime Penn wins a state championship, it's a really good sign. So kudos to those hardworking students. In terms of academic Super Bowls, the Fine Arts team finished second at the Academic Super Bowl state competition. And the Fine Arts team was coached by Mr. Zach Couret and featured Mia Helm, Kathy Kolba, Sarija Buttrey, and Riley Mills, and Anton Kozovanchi, and Landon Hendricks. Shout out to those guys. And the Social Studies team actually finished second as well in the Academic Super Bowl at Purdue. The Social Studies team was coached by Eric Bowers and featured Connor Gagan, Sarija Buttrey, Kian Fogarty, Bryce Herman, and Logan Hubbard. Shout out to all of those guys who actually went out there and did great things, getting second place in the state. Next, we're going to move on to Fine Arts. See, in Penn High School's production of the SpongeBob musical, which I wasn't able to go see. I really wanted to go see SpongeBob, but I had a soft spot for SpongeBob I was a kid. I'm not sure why, but I like the good Krabby Patty. They earned a total of 12 nominations for WAVE Awards. WAVE events are actually modeled off the Tony Awards, which celebrates outstanding work in the area for high school musical productions. This year, 12 different schools from 5 different counties are participating. So the fact we had 12 nominations is always a good sign. Always proud of our fine arts department. They always put on an amazing, amazing show. And for the second time in Penn High School history, the Penn Band, Choir, and Orchestra all qualified for ISMA State, which is absolutely astounding. Our musical department is absolutely killing it, and they did really, really well. The Symphonic Winds competed at Warren Central High School and placed 4th overall, which is the band, sorry. The full orchestra competed at Pike High School and placed 5th overall in the state, and the concert choir also competed at Pike High School and placed 14th overall. Not only do we have all 3 actually go to state, they also did really, really well at state. That just shows, like, in every department, no matter where you look at Penn High School, you see nothing but excellence. We see that Tegan Fronick, a junior in Architecture 3, entered her firehouse design project into the Indiana High School Architectural Design Competition and competed over 100 students from across Indiana and actually won the award. And obviously, a lot of people sometimes kind of forget about architecture, but that design was really, really good. And shout out to her for actually winning that award. Very prestigious. I was actually kind of blown away when I was reading that myself. It's like, whoa, okay, I wish I could design something like that. But my drawing's not my thing, so I don't think I'm going to go into architecture at all. But that's okay. And then we see that Penn High School's news network, PNN, won 20 awards at the Ball State University Annual J Day, which is basically just a competition from teams across the state of Indiana going to compete in array of news broadcasting stuff. So they won 2 team awards and they won 18 individual awards won by 14 students. They had an excellent day over there, and you should be really, really proud of them. They put in a lot of work. They put on our morning announcements every day, and they keep us up to date. And honestly, PNN's grown a lot over the past few years. So shout out to Mr. Starkweather and the PNN crew. They're doing a really, really good job. And then last week, there was senior recognition night on May 14th. There was a few big awards, but one I wanted to point out, Andrew Neely won the Kingsman of the Year, which is perhaps the most prestigious award. So all the students voted him as like who show like the best example of what being a Kingsman is. So I want to shout out Andrew Neely for winning that award. It's a really high honor, and he definitely deserves it. But in terms of moving on from awards and actually focusing on what Kingsman Court's done, just this last week we had a prom spirit week. I actually went to prom. It was quite fun. The dance was really beautifully themed, so shout out to everyone who worked on prom. And we also participated in the Spirit Week, and we had a good participation throughout. I think the students really enjoyed it, and it was a good way to end off my senior year prom. And then the last thing Kingsman Court's doing this year is we're going to have senior sunrise on Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. So what that means is that at like 6 a.m., I know a little early for some people, we're going to actually get up. There's going to be a free coffee and some free donuts, and students can wear their college merch, bring games, go to the Penn football field, and just kind of hang out and relax as a good send-off. So if you know anyone who's a senior and wants to go, make sure they know. Wear your favorite college merch. I will be rocking the Stanford Cardinal merch. I'm pretty excited about that. And free donuts and free coffee. Who doesn't love free donuts, free coffee? But that's kind of like my last thing I want to do. Just kind of want to speak to all of you guys. So I'm a senior. I'm going to be done in like 2 weeks, which is nice. You know, I think I'm ready to move on. Love all you guys, but I think I'm good with high school. But you know, from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to thank all of you guys. You know, all the board members, Dr. Thacker, all the parents who come out, all the teachers, and all the students. You guys have really shaped me over the past, not just 4 years, but throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. I couldn't have done anything without all the support throughout everything. So really, it does mean a lot. And I'm really excited for my next chapter. And I'm forever going to be grateful for all the work you guys have like done for me. So, but with that in mind, you guys have heard me a lot over the past 2 years, and it's time for me to pass the baton off. So as kind of my final thing I want to do is I want to introduce new ambassadors for next year. So we know Kelly and CJ, they can come up. They're returning. They did an excellent job being the board ambassadors this year. They have fun presentations. They're very creative. So you're very lucky to have them back. Two of the hardest working people at Penn, I know. But somebody's going to be replacing me, and it's going to be Maureen. Maureen, you can come up and join us. Maureen is one of the smartest people I know. She's a hard worker. She's done really good at speech and debate. She gives some of the best speeches. She's going to be a really great addition to this student and board ambassador team that we kind of assembled. So even though I'm going away, I think you guys are going to be in even better hands with these three, and I'm really excited to have you guys present. So thank you guys for everything over the past 4 years, and yeah, it's been a lot. It meant a lot to me. Thank you guys.
After your presentation and make comments on the news that you've reported to us and sent you back to the high school and ask you to tell people congratulations for us and so forth. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I just want to take a minute and just focus on you. I know that Noah provided us a lot of information during his report, but so that everybody understands, he's been doing this for 2 years, which is highly unusual. He's been coming to every school board meeting for 2 years, sometimes even when he's not the ambassador for that particular meeting, he's still there. He's still taking notes and he's still participating. You know, your name came up at a recent school board meeting. I think it was CJ maybe, or maybe Kelly, who reported that you were in a debate tournament. And I just thought to myself, man, I'd hate to debate that guy. I just quit. Is it going to be law?
That's the plan right now, yes.
Okay. You will be outstanding at whatever you choose to do. But if you are giving oral argument, you are going to hit the ball out of the park. You've always been such a great presenter, so enthusiastic, so thorough. I will correct you on one thing. The law is not terribly fun.
Yeah, I've heard.
I can speak with a certain degree of personal experience. And I do want to publicly forgive you, though you've never asked for forgiveness for being a USC fan. I am curious how things are going to play out when the Trojans play the Cardinal.
Well, luckily we're in different conferences for the time being, so I can be a fan of both. But I think I'll probably be a Stanford fan over a USC fan from now on.
Well, no, people occasionally ask us, what motivates us to run for school board. You have to go through campaigns and all that stuff, and it's a time commitment. I think in the future, when people ask me what motivates me to be on the school board, I'm going to mention your name, and I'm going to say it's students like you. You have absolutely been outstanding. I'm glad that we've helped to contribute to your own academic enrichment. I want to assure you that you've contributed to our enrichment as school board members. Thank you so much for all that you've done for us.
Thank you.
Being that this is the last time that we're going to see you, can Dr. Thacker and I take a photo with you?
Absolutely.
Mr. Riley, if I could. I was lucky enough to attend the senior recognition awards banquet the other night. And first of all, what a fantastic job that they did. But, Noah's being very honorable to some of the other people, but he wore out a spot from his chair up to the award banquet as well. And, congratulations, Noah. It was awesome to see you be recognized like that at the recognition in front of all your other peers as well. So congratulations.
You're being accepted at Stanford. You're going to be an academic success, whatever you do, and you're going to just be a success in life. We wish you all God's blessings, Noah. And come back and see us at some point, too. All right, we'll move on to our next item, which is also very exciting. Dr. Thacker, want to tell us about our secondary teacher of the year?
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. I'm very excited to share this information. It's my pleasure to congratulate the Penn-Harris-Madison's 2025 Secondary Teacher of the Year, L.A. High. He couldn't be here this evening because he's chaperoning the 8th grade Washington, D.C. trip. Phenomenal teacher. We're going to be recognizing him in absentia also at the teacher recognition program on Wednesday. Does a great job, and we certainly appreciate his contributions. So I'm going to move on to another magnificent teacher we're so proud of. It's my pleasure to introduce the Penn-Harris-Madison's 2025 Elementary Teacher of the Year, Rose Montgomery. So thank you for joining us this evening. Mrs. Montgomery, would you like to say a few words?
Board of Trustees. When I began my 31 years of teaching, I never imagined that I would be standing before you for this recognition. I am truly honored and humbled to be selected PHM Elementary Teacher of the Year. Just being considered among so many dedicated educators is incredibly meaningful to me. Teaching is just not my profession. It truly is my calling. I've been so blessed to do what I love to do, work with kids. Every day I walk into my classroom with a goal of making a difference, whether it's helping a student grasp a concept, building confidence, or just having that first grader have someone to confide in. I see each moment for all of us as an opportunity for growth. This recognition, however, isn't just about me. It truly is a reflection of the students I work with, the families that I've gotten to know over the many years, and the inspiring colleagues I get to work with each and every day. This afternoon, just a few hours ago, retired PHM school teacher, or principal, excuse me, Cheryl Harper walked into my classroom carrying a vase of flowers. Mrs. Harper was my first principal when I was at Elm Road. I was overwhelmed because I've admired her for so long. And she hired me in a it was a maternity leave position, which then turned into a full-time teaching position. And the rest, they say, is history. I got so emotional this afternoon when I saw her. And as she hugged me, she whispered in my ear, she said, "I saw something special in you." I was filled with gratitude. I know my name is on this award, but it's truly a reflection of my team and my school. I could not achieve these goals without them. And I could not achieve what I have done over the years without my supportive family, my students, and their families. Dr. Thacker, you are right. It truly is a triangle. I never lost my passion over these 31 years for teaching and for developing my relationships with students. This recognition only fuels my passion even more and reminds me why I chose this path. I am forever grateful. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Honor of working with Mrs. Montgomery when I taught for a year at Prairie Vista. Excuse me. And when I listened to everything that her students' families said about her, I was in my very first year teaching. I just remember thinking, man, I hope my students' families could say that about me. So you inspired me to want to build a community in my classroom. So congratulations. It's very well deserved.
We think about people who make a difference. Our teachers definitely make a difference, but we also have support personnel. And so I'd like to congratulate the Penn-Harris-Madison's classified employee of the year, Whitney Hall. Whitney, would you please come up and join us this evening? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Penn and Dr. Thacker for hiring me. I love my job and my students challenge me every day. Thank you to my coworkers, my ex-ed teachers, secretaries, nurses, therapists, custodians, deans, fellow EAs. It is a team job. No one could do this job on their own, and I work with great people that have mentored me and taught me so much in my 5 years at Penn. My receiving this award is a nod to all of them. Thank you to my family, my husband Jordan, and my parents for their love and support so I can do what I love, and for listening to me tell countless stories about my students and breakthroughs that we've had. And thank you to my students who welcome me into their lives and work so hard each day to learn and grow. They are in a world and an education system that's not always built for them, and they inspire me. They make all the blood, sweat, and tears, and yes, there are all of those, worth it. I feel very honored to receive this award, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker. And we do congratulate LA Rose, and Whitney on being chosen as PHM Secondary and Elementary Teachers of the Year and Classified Employee of the Year. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. It's wonderful to come to these school board meetings and see the fruits of your labor. Thank you so much. One more round of applause for Employees of the Year. Going right, Dr. Thacker? Let's talk about discovery.
I love it. Okay, we're going to have a great presentation tonight. We have Principal Elizabeth Cunha. She's going to highlight some of the outstanding music groups at Discovery, such as what we just heard in the Commons before the board meeting. And she's also going to highlight some extracurricular activities of the National History Day competition first place winner. Mrs. Cunha.
Well, good evening, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, and the esteemed members of the board. Thank you so much for being here tonight. As you know, I'm Elizabeth Cunha, and I'm the principal here at Discovery, a place that I have come to love and be a part of here for the last 6 years. As we start our presentation tonight, let's just make sure this works. Okay. As Dr. Thacker mentioned, as you arrived earlier this evening, you entered our building and you were warmly welcomed in our commons area by our Star Buddies coffee crew. It is an inclusive program that we launched here in 2021, and these incredible students provide fresh coffee daily to teachers, staff, and guests, and take great pride in their service. Their names are listed on the slide that were out there this evening. You were also treated to a performance by our orchestra ensemble, a cello quintet showcasing the piece Bagatelle. And they are talented students in our orchestra program, and their names are also listed up above on that slide. In addition, several of our piano lab students from grades 6th, 7th, and 8th were delighted to share their musical progress with you. These students have selected piano as their music elective as one of the 4 possibilities that you can take here at Discovery during your 3 years. And they have dedicated themselves to learning and performing throughout the school year. As previously mentioned, Star Buddies was founded here in Discovery Middle School in 2021. And in just a few short years, it has become a true cornerstone of our school community. This unique program provides authentic employability skills to students in a cooperative and inclusive setting. Star Buddies allows students to take ownership of a job, learn responsibility, and experience the pride that comes from serving others. Each day around breakfast and lunch times, staff and guests are offered free coffee served with care by our student volunteers. Students sign up to work a shift, an opportunity that not only teaches real world skills like communication, time management, and customer service, but also encourages students to build meaningful connections with peers and staff that they may not otherwise directly interact with throughout the school day. One of the most powerful aspects of the program is that it brings together students of all abilities to work side by side in a positive and enriching environment. It's about more than coffee, it's about inclusion, growth, and community. This program is made possible through the generous supports of local partners, including Feed the Children, Martin Supermarket, and our very own PHM Education Foundation, who have helped to provide the necessary resources to keep Star Buddies running completely free of charge, as you saw tonight, to staff and students alike. Here at Discovery Middle School, we take immense pride in our students, not just for their academic achievements, but for the way they excel across the areas of student life, including fine arts, extracurriculars, and athletics. This year, our students have earned numerous awards, gold ratings, and state-level recognitions that reflect their dedication and talent. We are especially proud to share that Discovery Band was honored with the prestigious Indiana State School Music Association Award for their exceptional performance this school year. In recognition of this achievement, ISMA presented our band with a special banner, a symbol of excellence earned through hard work, discipline, and musical growth. The DMS band earned 117 gold medals in 72 events and with 3 perfect scores. Over the past 10 years, the DMS band has earned 41 gold ratings with 17 distinctions. For students who do not participate in band or piano lab, we proudly offer opportunities in orchestra and choir, both of which continue to achieve remarkable success as well. Our orchestra program earned over 67 gold medals for solo and ensemble performances this year. In addition, 3 students qualified for the state solo and ensemble competition where all 3 earned gold medals. One of them receiving a perfect score at the state level, a truly outstanding achievement. Our choir program has been equally impressive. This year, 21 vocal soloists from DMS Choir earned 20 gold medals with 5 perfect scores among them. These results are a testament to the passion, discipline, and artistry of our students, as well as the dedication to our fine arts staff. At Discovery Middle School, our students excel in fine arts not just because of their talent, but because of their commitment to excellence in every area of their lives. Now moving on to extracurriculars, our Discovery Archers are engaged, motivated, and actively participating in a wide variety of before and after school clubs and academic teams. These opportunities allow our students to explore their interests, build leadership skills, and foster a deeper connection to the school community. One of the standout programs we'd like to highlight tonight is our Math Counts team, a group of students who thrive on problem solving, critical thinking, and teamwork. This program has grown tremendously in both participation and performance, reflecting the academic strength and enthusiasm of our students. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce 2 of our current 8th grade Math Count members, Julie Zhang and Alice Zhang, who will share a bit about their experience in the program and what it has meant to them as Discovery students.
Math Counts is a club at Discovery which trains and prepares students for a national mathematics competition. This competition includes both individual and team-based tests. At Discovery, our students have always been very successful, and this year we took 7 out of the top 8 spots at the regional competition. The 7 of us had the opportunity to go to the state competition representing Discovery. The 4 of us in the picture were the top placing team, winning first place at regionals. You can see Jeffrey Zhang, Eli Sandersfield, me, and Alice Zhang from left to right, along with 2 of our coaches, Mrs. Surface and Stanley Liu. Alice is going to tell you a little bit about her experience at Math Counts.
Well, I chose to be part of Math Counts originally because my parents encouraged me, but as I got older, I chose to continue because my closest friends were doing it. During the 3 years of participating in the club, I have learned creative math skills and techniques. My favorite part of math counts, however, is going against high school coaches and even sometimes answering problems faster than them. This has also given me lots of experience. I'm not sure what I want to be in the future, but math is the mother of all subjects. So I know that math does indeed count no matter what I choose to be, and it will help me get there.
Have quite a few members on the team with the last name Zhang, and they are not related. All right, switching gears to Archer Athletics. We are always proud and excited to cheer on our archers, both on and off the field, court, or track. Our student athletes not only represent Discovery with skill and determination, but also with integrity, teamwork, and school spirit. This year, we've seen tremendous participation and success across the 3 athletic seasons. 236 students participated in a fall sport, 147 students took part in a winter sport, and 131 students competed in a spring sport. That's hundreds of students proudly representing Discovery Middle School, and we couldn't be more proud of their efforts and accomplishments. Our teams have secured multiple conference championships, achieved winning regular season records, and in several cases, individual athletes have brought home championship titles in their events. So if you haven't had a chance to attend a Discovery sporting event, we highly encourage you to do so. No matter the sport, you'll find enthusiastic crowds, talented students, and a powerful sense of community, so you won't be disappointed. At Discovery Middle School, we have a long-standing tradition and reputation for academic excellence, and we are incredibly proud of the commitment our students show to their learning year after year. Tonight, we are excited to highlight one of those students for his exceptional individual achievement and dedication to learning beyond the classroom. Abijay Massetti, an 8th grade student, made the remarkable decision to independently participate in the National History Day competition this school year. While he originally took part in this competition last year as a 7th grader through an enrichment opportunity in the Honors Social Studies class, he enjoyed the experience so much that he chose to pursue it, again, completely on his own initiative this year. National History Day is a project-based competition centered around a national theme, which encouraged students to conduct in-depth historical research and present their findings in a creative and scholarly way. This year's theme was Rights and Responsibilities. Abijay not only completed a rigorous project independently, but he also earned first place at the state level, an extraordinary accomplishment that has qualified him to represent Indiana at the National History Day competition in Washington, D.C. this June. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Abijay, who is here to share a bit about his project and what this journey has meant to him.
Hello, esteemed board members. I'm going to start off by reiterating a couple of things that she said. My name is Abijay Massetti. I'm currently an 8th grader here at Discovery Middle School, and I'm here to share with you my experience and my actual achievements in the National History Day competition. So what is NHD? NHD is an annual competition where students complete an entry based on a yearly theme, which this year, as Ms. Cunha had already said, rights and responsibilities. And then they turn this project into an entry. And there are several ways of doing this. They can write a research paper, documentary, a performance. There are several ways to do this. After this, judges will ask students to come in for an interview to ensure that those students know their topic and like its original work, and they didn't just like copy it off someplace. So I completed a research paper in the category, and I did the Bonus Army March of 1932, which were a couple of World War I veterans who did not receive any payments or anything whatsoever. So they decided to march to Washington, D.C. to demand their bonus. So there are 3 levels for this competition. There's regional, state, and the nationals. At the regional contest, I went in with this paper, and I had this interview, and then they placed me, so then I was qualified for the state contest. There, the same process occurred. Interview was conducted with me, and I eventually came out on top with my research paper. So I really want to thank you guys for supporting all these academic endeavors and allowing me to flourish in these different fields so I can find my own passion. And I am really excited to be a person that will showcase what Discovery is all about at the national competition. Thank you so much for listening.
Well, it's very clear why Abijay did so well with his presentation. Thank you, Abijay. Finally, tonight, we'd like to end with a gesture of gratitude and appreciation. We are proud to introduce a couple of students from our DMS Ambassador Program and student government group called the Archer Advocates. Both student leadership groups dedicated to service, school spirit, and representing the values of Discovery Middle School. These student leaders came together to create a stack of handwritten thank you cards created by students across the school to express their heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Thacker for his 19 years of dedicated service as our superintendent. Dr. Thacker, your leadership has left a lasting impact, not only on our schools, but also on the lives of countless students and staff members. This small token from our students reflects just a fraction of the gratitude felt throughout the district. At this time, I'd like to invite two of our 8th grade ambassadors forward to present the cards, Elizabeth Holmes and Kayo Nato. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Thacker. So on behalf of the entire Discovery Middle School community, thank you again for being with us this evening. It has been our honor to host you and to showcase just a few of the incredible things happening here at DMS. We are proud of our students, grateful for our staff, and deeply appreciative of the support we receive from all of you, our district leadership and board members. Together, we are building a place where students thrive, grow, and lead. Thank you for your time, your service, and your continued commitment to excellence in education. Have a wonderful evening.
Well, Mrs. Cunha, we appreciate you and all the successes that you've had here at Discovery, all the great things that you're doing academically. I love the presentation, especially in terms of fine arts. I was thinking about the high statistical correlation between academic success and fine arts participation. You guys are doing a great job with that. Thank you for all that you're doing here. I also want to thank Julie and Alice and Math Counts. You guys are incredible. And VJ, if you become an attorney, I quit. Elizabeth and Kyle, thank you also for being here. We love seeing our students and interacting with our students and seeing what you guys have been up to. You make us so proud. And we just knew coming to Discovery, all of the things that you've been doing were going to make us even prouder. We just love Discovery. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you, parents, for everything that you do. And thank you for the students for your involvement here. Discovery offers so much, obviously, and you guys are taking advantage of it. And you're reaping the rewards of your own academic investment. So thank you again. That concludes the presentation portion of this evening. Now, we welcome everybody to stick around for the business portion of the evening, but we do understand if you want to go home and have dinner, or if you have homework to do, that you might not want to stick around. So if you want to leave, now would be an appropriate time. It is an amazing school. Okay, board members, we'll move on with the business portion of the evening. First item on the agenda is the adoption of agenda. Any additions or changes, board members? Administration?
The administration has no changes.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Next up is the approval of the minutes of the April 21st, 2025 executive session, and then the regular board meeting of the same date. Board members, any additions or changes? Administration?
The administration has no changes.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed vote nay. That motion also carries by a vote of 7-0. Next up is the consent agenda. Dr. Thacker, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. The administration recommends approval of the consent agenda as presented, appearing on the personnel report under classified staff for the following retirements. Stacy Proctor, educational assistant at North Point Elementary, is going to retire on June 5th, 2025 after 4 years of service. Lori Stanton, bus operator, will retire on June 5th, 2025 after 27 years of service. Kelly Livers, food service satellite leader at Meadows Edge, will retire on June 5th after 12 years of service. Robert Mulligan, custodian at Discovery Middle School, will retire on August 8th after 24 years of service. Lola Salt, general food service at Discovery Middle School, will retire on June 6th after 26 years of service. Laura Epperson, custodian at Discovery Middle School, will retire on July 25th after 24 years of service. Robert Kowalinsky, technology aide at Grissom Middle School, will retire on August 29th after 17 years of service. On behalf of the board and the administration, we wish every one of our colleagues the very, very best in their upcoming retirements.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker. Board members, any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the May 19th, 2025 consent agenda as presented? All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. And before moving on to our next agenda item, Dr. Thacker, is there an additional item you'd like to share?
Yes, thank you very much, President Riley and Board of Trustees. Appearing on the personnel report that was just approved under administrative appointments is one new administrative appointment we'd like to introduce. Please join me in welcoming our new Executive Director of Business Services, Mr. Zachary Quiet. Mr. Quiet comes to us with an excellent background in school finance, having served as a CFO at Elkhart Community Schools to the from January 1st, 2024 to the present. He was also at Bago Community Schools from 2017 to 2024. His experience have helped him gain a deep understanding of the complexities of managing school finances, and he's consistently demonstrated a high level of competence and strategic thinking. Zachary holds a bachelor's degree in business finance from Indiana University, earned an MBA from the University of Notre Dame, and he's an active and respected member of the Indiana Association of School Business Officials, where he has earned the respect of his colleagues across the state for his knowledge and leadership and integrity in school finance. He is going to be a great addition to our team. Mr. Zach Quiet.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, School Board of Trustees. It's an honor to be here tonight and to be considered for this position. Penn-Harris-Madison has a obvious tradition of excellence, as we've seen displayed here tonight, and I look forward to being a part of this wonderful leadership team that has shown a strong strategic vision over the years. I would like to also thank my wife, Lauren, who's with our beautiful son, Andrew, over there, and my children for their support and love. They allow me to do the work I do. I believe that strong financial stewardship is critical to the success of any school district, and I look forward to supporting that as joining the team. So thank you so much.
Again, congratulations, Zachary. We do look forward to working with you. And we'll move on to our next item, which is an instruction action item involving the resolution for Schmucker Middle School. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. This is really an exciting presentation, and it's a vote for Schmucker Middle School to apply for the Indiana Purple Star School designation. And Dr. Short is going to highlight this as she introduces it.
Thank you, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, and Board of School Trustees. It is my pleasure tonight to welcome Mrs. Sarah Smith, who is the principal at Schmucker Elementary School, who is going to describe for us what this, I'm sorry, middle school, who is going to describe, yeah, who is going to describe for us a little bit more about what the Purple Star School designation would entail. They have a long-standing history of being very, very supportive to our veterans, and this would be the final step for the application. So we're looking for a resolution to be approved by you this evening.
Good evening, President Riley, Dr. Thacker, school board members. Schmucker Middle School has a long-standing dedication to our military families and is passionate about earning a Purple Star School designation from the IDOE. Our commitment is exemplified by our annual Veterans Day program that actively involves students and community members in honoring the service of our veterans. Our school TA, Mary DeKeever, is a proud military wife and mother, and she will serve as our point of contact for the Purple Star application, underscoring our school's deep connection to and understanding the military community. A board resolution would be instrumental in Schmucker's application for the Indiana Department of Education's Purple Star designation by formally acknowledging the unique needs and sacrifices of our military families, and by committing to providing resources and support. The board's resolution will significantly strengthen Schmucker's application and demonstrate our district-wide dedication to these valued members of our community.
Very much. Board members, any questions? I suspect this is one where every board member is going to want to make the motion. So do I have a motion to approve Schmucker Middle School to apply for the Indiana Purple Star School designation as presented? All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mrs. Smith, so much for doing this. This is a great initiative, and we've always appreciated the extent to which our middle schools, but most particularly Schmucker, have paid tribute to our veterans and the parents in our school district and grandparents in our school district who are veterans. Thanks for doing this.
Great deal. We've been striving for this for a while, and this is the last hurdle, and I cannot wait to go back to school tomorrow and let them know that we are in the clear, so we should be good to start the application process. Thank you very much.
But something we're happy to do. It's good to see you. We'll move on to the second reading and approval of revisions to the handbook. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. So the next up is the second reading and approval of revisions to the parent-student handbooks for the 2025-2026 school year, which Director of Professional Development, Dr. Levon D. Knoll, will present. Dr. D. Knoll.
Yeah, good evening, President Riley, Dr. Thacker, members of the board. Glad to be back in front of you again today. And as you were previously informed in a board note, we were able to add the North Point Early Learning Academy handbook since you approved that new site. We're very excited, and I believe as of today, it is full already. So that's very exciting. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about any of the handbooks.
Board members? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the revisions to the handbooks for the elementary school, middle school, Penn High School, Athletic and Activities Code of Conduct for students representing Penn High School, Athletic and Activities Code for students representing PHM Middle Schools, Penway Night School, Penn Pals, the Early Learning Academy Preschools, Kids Club, and Meadows Edge and Madison Preschools for the 2025-2026 school year as presented?
Second.
All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Dean Miller. We'll now move on to our instruction report for this evening. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley, Board of Trustees. This is another really exciting presentation. I'm so excited to have with us tonight the Pitt High School Academy's presentation, focusing on the Freshman Academy and the Exceptional Education Academy. And Dr. Short is going to highlight and introduce this item.
Dr. Thacker. Riley, members of the board, we have a great presentation for you this evening, and two of our fabulous leaders from Penn High School will be talking this evening. One is Mrs. Jenny Schaefer. She will specifically be talking regarding the X-Ed Academy, and then we have Mrs. Carrie Morton, who is also here with us, and she will be talking specifically about the Freshman Academy. So welcome.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, members of the board. I'm happy to present information about how our Exceptional Education Academy provides special education services to students with IEPs. I have three areas that I will highlight today: our mission to inclusion update, our work experience, and unified sports. The past years, I've shared our mission inclusion and the steps we're taking toward becoming a full inclusion school. This year, we inched forward with our applied math students doing the algebra lab classes. Next year, we're taking bigger steps. We will have more co-teaching partners and opportunities for our students. Our applied math students will be joining algebra, geometry, and personal finance courses to meet their units for the academic, their alternate diploma. Along with that, we are expanding co-teaching into some fun elective courses with some new partnerships in sign language, early childhood education, and theater. All of our co-teaching partnerships will help support and meet the needs of our diverse student population. Another focus of our academy is to give students access to real work experience. Our students explore careers, they participate in work-based learning experiences, they work on employability skills related to mindsets, self-management, learning strategies, social skills, and workplace skills. Our students have very authentic experiences within our work experience program. We thank our community partners for inviting our students in and allowing them to learn in their places of business. Today, I have Caitlin Gaynor, who is going to share what she's been doing at Queen of Peace.
Good evening, Dr. Thacker, President Riley, and members of the board. My name is Caitlin. I am a junior and I am in the work experience class. I work at Queen of Peace doing various tasks like scooping fruit and packing cucumbers in the cafeteria. I like my job because it is a time to talk, listen to music, and get to leave Penn for a walk during the day. I am learning cooking skills, how to be a good employee, and being helpful. I am interested in going to culinary school after graduation. I'm currently looking forward into a catering job. Work experience in Mr. Fitch's culinary class have helped me choose this goal.
Thanks, Caitlin. Both Unified Track and Unified Cornhole were back this year. Our Cornhole gets athletes geared up for the upcoming track season, and it's coached by one of our outstanding EAs, our Employee of the Year, Whitney Hall. Unified Cornhole is a chance for students of all abilities to learn from each other, have fun together, and develop new skills. It provides a space for students who may have never been in the same classes to compete together and build relationships. But most importantly, it's fun. Coach Blazo shared that unified track and field at Penn High School is more than a sport. It's a movement of inclusion and teamwork. Students of all abilities develop physical fitness, build friendships, and experience the joy of competition in a supported environment. Through this program, Unified Track has already inspired so many in our school and beyond, encouraging them to embrace the diverse talents and potential of their peers. Today, I have Jaden and Leo here to share the fun that they've had with Unified Sports.
Okay.
Why do you like Unified Track?
I love Unified Track because it is a good sport for running and working out with people and getting to know people. I run the 4x1 relay. I run the 100-meter dash, and I do shot put. I have made new friends at Unified Track.
Hello, Dr. Thacker and President Riley and other members of the board. I am very thankful that you guys invited me here along with Ms. Schaefer to share a little bit of my experience with Unified Track. Now, I like going off the top of my dome. So if you hear a little bit of us, likes, and whatnot, it's more authentic and I get to be personal, especially with Unified Track. But something I'd like to point out is the word unified. It's kind of obvious when you hear unified track and field, but I feel like it's the perfect word to describe the experience of what you have when you're a part of the sport. You get to make relationships like Caitlin and Jaden. You get to make relationships with Coach Blazo and Coach Ludwig. I think it's really awesome that this community, we get to come together and be unified and create relationships that you don't expect to have. You have all these memories, all these different perspectives that you get to learn, and that's something I really enjoy. I'm a big fan of open-mindedness, and I think being able to be a part of this program and this sport gave me an opportunity to be more open to all the other people in this world, to give me more love, to give me more care for whoever it is. And a personal experience that recently happened is I was to point out Unified Track and its importance of the coaches and the people. I was having a pretty bad day the other day. It was very stressful, different than I anticipated, and I wasn't myself. You can notice right away from me if you ask anybody that there's a little bit of a difference when I am not okay, and I don't portray it right away, but the coaches noticed, and they noticed for sure, and I'm running my jumps. I do long jump along with the 400, and I'm running my lap, and Coach Blazo eventually pulls me to the side. Coach Blazo, and he asked me, he's like, Leo, is there anything wrong? Are you okay? He stepped aside, appropriately pulled me aside to respect my privacy and asked me, are you okay? Is there anything there that is bothering you? And it was really comforting to understand that there's somebody who actually looks and cares for who I am and how I am in a sense. And so not only that, Coach Ludwig did the exact same thing literally 15 minutes later, which was even better, just to show that the staff that is recruited for Unified Track is amazing, and they're open-minded to everybody. But I would like to end on the fact of the relationships. That's something I really enjoy, and that's something I want to pursue in a career. This is actually the college I intend to pursue is Liberty University for a ministry degree and to create an impact, a relationship. And there's relationships unlike no other that you'll learn. If you come to a practice, you'll be smiling from cheek to cheek with each and every athlete that is there. And it's super. It's almost unexplainable in a sense. And so I'm very grateful to be here to be able to share my experience, and I hope you got something out of it to understand what it's like to be a part of Unified Track. Thank you.
Following that up, I get to turn it over to my co-teacher for English 9, but also the Freshman Academy leader, Carrie Morton.
Good evening, President Riley, Dr. Thacker, and members of the board. I'm Carrie Morton, and new this year, the Freshman Academy leader. Admittedly, Freshman Academy, by the numbers, is a daunting list of facts. Our 696 freshman students are divided into smaller learning communities that the students refer to as houses. The class of 2028 was divided into 4 houses of about 150 students and a 5th house of about 85 students. The houses mean that students shared 3 core teachers: math, biology, and English. The first day of school for freshmen began well before they stepped foot into Penn's campus on August 21st. Behind the scenes, freshman counselors Nancy Black, Marnie Kronk and Deanna Ward began planning for incoming freshmen by meeting them at their middle schools, guiding them through the hallways of Penn High School's 8th graders on a field trip, and arranging mentors for them at the walk-around on the Saturday before school started to try and navigate the hallways of such a big building. Freshman Academy teachers began the hard work of planning with their SLC to create the houses for incoming students so that they truly feel at home at Penn. From the first day, Freshman Academy teachers welcomed students into the classrooms from a sea of crowded hallways and backpacks weighing heavily on the students' shoulders into classrooms that invite, challenge, and create opportunities for rigorous learning opportunities at Penn. This year, Freshman Academy teachers are an incredible group that supports and celebrates one another with the goal of doing the same for their students. In PLCs, teachers work to create content-rich experiences for freshmen so that no matter whose house a student is part of, the freshman Kingsman experience is one that is unmatched. In biology, teachers were trained and piloted lessons aligned with the newly developed science standards. Throughout the school year, math teachers worked together to provide help sessions for students nearly any day of the week before or after school. English teachers implemented a new vertically articulated writing rubric more closely aligned with the writing standards. Across the curriculum, teachers were trained and worked to include collaborative instruction for students that also holds them individually accountable for their learning through the Kagan strategies. Freshman Academy teachers have the unique opportunity of first introducing the culture of Penn High School and what it means to be a Kingsman in the building, but also extending beyond the walls of the school. Houses took field trips to fish the St. Joe River, ice skates at Ironworks, bowl at Strikes and Spares. These community experiences have students laughing and learning as they step away from campus. They took care of themselves and each other so that as they stepped back into the classroom, they reinvested in themselves, each other, and this place, Penn High School. Teachers nominate students as house rockers. In return, teachers gave back to the students in monthly spotlights on house teachers. Freshman Academy teachers shared insights, advice, and bits of trivia about themselves. I often say that Freshman Academy teachers do a job that is unlike any other teacher in the building. It takes an outstanding staff to embrace this role of teaching nearly exclusively freshman students. The result of this dedication is a successful freshman class. The class of 2028 has celebrated many successes in addition to the House Rockers. Freshman athletes made news on the basketball court, blazing the cross-country trails, and are winning on the baseball field. One of our freshmen competed with other local high schools and was the first of the school year to be recognized in academics by the South Bend Tribune as the Student of the Week. Together, the class of 2028 has the greatest percentage of freshman students on track to graduate. I asked three freshman students to speak at our meeting this evening: Katie Corwin, Will Deniston, and Shreya Nye. Shreya is unable to be with us, and while that's unfortunate for us, she was invited to the NIC banquet this evening. She's such an overachiever that Shreya wanted to participate and left me with a few notes that I'll share before inviting our other two students up. Hi, my name is Shreya Nye, and I'm a freshman at Penn High School. I'm sorry that I could not attend the meeting to share this with you in person, but I wanted to tell you about my freshman year experience. This year, I took honors biology, English, and Algebra 2, along with Spanish 1, physical conditioning, advanced freshman band, and AP World History. I've loved all my classes, but by far my favorite has been AP World History. This has been a super challenging course with lots of material, but I have taken much valuable insight away from it. Our teacher has emphasized how history relates to our lives today. This has made me truly think about how I wanted to present myself and who I wanted to be moving forward. Along with these amazing classes, I've been fortunate enough to be part of the soccer and cross-country basketball, and track teams. Through all of these sports, I have met wonderful coaches and teammates. One of my favorite memories was the bus ride home from the state cross-country meet, in which the whole team truly connected, despite the varying grades and ages. The upperclassmen have been so inclusive and kind, a constant theme in all the teams that I have been part of. The friendships I have formed will carry way beyond the field, court, course, and track. These upperclassmen have served as great role models and inspirations to who I want to be as an upperclassman. Some of my other activities at Penn have included Key Club, Kingsman Court, Healthy Hands, Healthy Hearts, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I've enjoyed all of these clubs, and they've been a great way to give back to the school and community through volunteering. They have also served as great places to meet new people. At the Dazzle Craft Night at North Point Elementary School, it was great to see high schoolers of all ages coming together to help serve the PHM community. I will take the lessons I have learned from these experiences and so many other similar ones into the rest of my high school career. All in all, my freshman year at Penn High School has been amazing. It has gone above and beyond anything I could have imagined. From teachers to teammates to coaches and all of the staff, you guys have made this year unforgettable. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Shreya Naeem. So I invite Will and Katie to come up. I think Will's going to start.
Good evening, President Riley, Dr. Thacker, and members of the board. My name is Will Denniston. I'm a freshman tennis player from Penn High School and Freshman Academy's fifth house. My first day of school was one of the most stunning moments of this year. You notice a number of things walking into Penn High School. First of all, it's enormous. And I know we hear this a lot, especially going into the school year. It's a student body of over 4,000 people. You have a lot of questions on this first day. I wonder, am I ever going to stop getting lost? Am I going to get used to it at some point? And how am I going to make friends? Earlier, Mrs. Morton described Freshman Academy as a community, and that's just what it is. My second class of my first day of school was biology, which is supported by the Freshman Academy program. And in this class, I was put together with another group of students who I now share 3 of my 8 classes with, who I'm quickly becoming very close friends with. This community has made my time at Penn High School, even just in my first year, much more comfortable and much more welcoming. And I've had all the more fun because of it. Being able to have this group of people that I can spend time with, that I can learn with, and that I can grow with has been an incredible step in my academic journey and has encouraged a lot of activities that I've taken part in throughout the year. Thank you.
Good evening, President Riley, Dr. Thacker, and members of the board. My name is Katie Corwin. My first year at Penn was nothing short of amazing. One great thing about Penn is the range of activities that are available. Until this year, I had never really found a sport that felt like a great fit for me. Then I looked into the Penn girls rugby team. I didn't know anything about this sport when I started, let alone that Penn had a rugby team, but I will definitely be continuing to play rugby throughout my high school career. Beyond sports, I have also been involved in Penn Choir and was also in the spring musical SpongeBob. The best thing about that experience was that I got to learn how to tap dance, which, trust me, is a skill I never would have learned if I hadn't auditioned. This was also my first year taking an advanced placement course, AP World History, which taught me very early on this year to not procrastinate on my schoolwork. I did that at the beginning of the year, and it was a terrible idea. I also chose German as my foreign exchange language, and I applied for the GAP exchange program, which gave me the opportunity to travel to Germany in the summer of 2026. All of these opportunities in my freshman year have been amazing. I'll be honest, I was terrified about how my first year of high school was going to go. But looking back on everything I did this year, I learned so much not just about high school, but also about myself. I've made incredible new friends, and I can't wait to see where I go from here. Thank you.
So as the end of May is too quickly approaching, I'm excited to see how each of our freshmen will continue to take advantage of the many opportunities that Penn offers its students. In August, one of my favorite things to see is the mingling of the new class of freshmen with those that just left that core hallway. Thank you for this opportunity to share our year with you. Thank you to the freshman class of 2028.
Wow. I'm not often at a loss for words, believe me. Caitlin Gaynor, I've had the distinct privilege of knowing you and your family for a number of years. I absolutely think the world of you. And we wish you God's blessings in your pursuit of a culinary career and everything that you do. Jaden, thanks, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for coming and sharing your experience with Unified Sports. Loved it. Leo, speaking of love, thanks for placing an emphasis on it. I loved how you emphasized love. We just can't love each other enough, can we? I tell you what, if you go to Liberty University and get that ministry degree and become ordained, the world would be better off because of you. You're exactly that type of guy. Katie, you know, my son got involved in Penn rugby because football wasn't violent enough for him. I had a hard time believing that you're a freshman. You present so well. Just a great public speaker and a great presence. I love it. And yes, AP classes will teach us some lessons, won't they? Good for you. And will you send our love and our appreciation to Shreya, please? We loved her letter to us, and understand that she's placing a priority on academic pursuits. And Will, I'm telling you, man, you have an incredible public presence as well. You present so well. I loved every moment of your presentation. Like I said, it's hard to believe that you guys are freshmen. Dr. Short, Mrs. Schaefer, Mrs. Morton, you know, I don't know what else to say other than it's doing the work of God. I went to the exceptional education graduation ceremony last year. It was really difficult to keep myself emotionally composed. Thinking about all the challenges that these students have overcome and the successes that at their young age they've accumulated is humbling and at the same time extremely awe-inspiring. So thank you, Dr. Short, Mrs. Schaefer, Mrs. Morton, for your work. Thank you to our students for being here and for presenting to us. We love you guys. Absolutely love you. Your presentations were wonderful. Come back and see us again. Now that we know you're freshmen, we can expect you to come back in the sophomore, junior, and senior years, and we know where to find you. So come back and see us, and thank you so much for being here. All right, we'll move on to our business and operational services action items. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Thomas Keeley, will present our first business action item this evening with a request for approval to award bids for some capital improvement projects. Dr. Keeley?
President Riley, members of the board. First of all, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I've really understood the team. Jill Riggs in food service, Brandon Tugman in transportation, Jason Messner in facilities and grounds. You see something in grounds here today. Just working with all of them. Matt Hapke in technology. All of this product that you're going to see on the board doesn't come from just me and having the finances. It comes from a wonderful team. And I've really learned how good they are in the last month or so. So these bids are much more detailed this time and thorough. And so the first one is the capital improvements. And Boiler replacement at the ESC, we have some ADA compliance going on there, and I think that'll be a good upgrade. Hand dryers at Grissom, softball improvements at the entire area behind the softball field. Meadows Edge and Discovery, some stage lighting, bus camera improvements for the transportation area, domestic water heater at Horizon, and Penn High School will be getting their north tennis courts resurfaced this summer because they are in dire need of that for the fall. So total is $950,688 for those capital improvements.
I know this information has been disseminated to the board previously, but board members, any questions or comments? Hearing none, motion to award the capital improvement projects to listed vendors as presented.
Second.
All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. That motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Dr. Keeley, I always apologize to you because your presentations always tend to follow some of the most emotionally compelling presentations that we get. But bless your heart. All right, we'll move on to the next one, which is approval of professional services agreements.
This second item is really working with architectural firms and other technology types of things. So it's not really under a capital improvements, but it is quite extensive. And some of these projects will be extended out for a while. So we ask our partners to go out and do public bids and then come back with Jason Messner and I, and we vet those bids and then we determine what's necessary. So some of the best architect firms like Schmidt Associates, DLZ, and Fanning Howey, you're very familiar with those companies. And so these projects are quite extensive and they do extend over time. Some of them have not been awards that have been bid. And then some of them are rather small, like the education, frontline education will be our hiring platform. But I thought it was appropriate to put into the professional services agreement. There are 9 projects listed here and totals $1,684,605.24. Okay, very good. Again, I know this information has been previously disseminated to the board, but board members, any questions or comments?
Mr. Riley, a couple of comments. Number one, who can't get emotional over a good spreadsheet?
See, I knew you would be good. I knew you would be good.
I just don't understand that at all. But
You are the exception to so many rules, Mr. Fox.
you know, that's there's so much going on in the state, and tonight we're approving $2.5 million of additional money. So at some point in time, I do think we need to get together and just kind of take a look at where this all's going and how it's impacting Penn and what we need to do. And again, I'm no real comments on any of these agreements, but again, the number's a large number and there's so much stuff going on. I do think shortly this summer we need to get together and kind of understand all of it.
I appreciate that. I set up meetings at all 15 buildings to walk through the master capital improvements projects. And there's about 100 projects and it's about $90 million total. We're funding already $55 million. And on June 4th, we close on $14.4 million. And I wanted to take the opportunity to divide up those projects per building, sit with every building leader and say, are these still priorities? An architect thinks they are from an operational standpoint. But then I just wanted to ask every principal, what really does bother you? What are the things that maybe aren't on the spreadsheet? And so I would like to go through all those 15 meetings first, and then I'll put together a presentation for the board that just summarizes where we are and how we can fund it in the future.
Although all the legislation is kind of finalized, kind of not, but it's scary. I mean, it's a little scary. And I think we just getting together and kind of thinking through this and projecting what not only 2025, but what 2026 looks like as well would probably be a good utilization of the board time.
I completely agree.
Timing might work out well too. By the time they iron out the implementation of the new legislation, you'll be done with your assessment at all 15 campuses. And that might be a great time for us to get together in an executive session and kind of go over some financial planning for the future. Because I do agree that recent legislation has introduced the one word that even those of us who are non-accountants can appreciate when it comes to the economy, which is uncertainty.
I know.
And we
Scary.
do not like uncertainty. So, okay, thank you for that comment, Mr. Fox. Any other comments?
Fanning and Howie's, what's provided to us. Some of those, most of them are 2026 projects.
Correct, all summer 20, yeah.
And you've allotted more money now than what was originally allotted for, if I read right.
That is correct. We're anticipating increased, and I can't speak to tariffs, and steel was in the news today. And so we have allotted more money than was originally thought we would do, which is an okay thing when we look at the bond issues. We did $55 million. We have things on a list, but we haven't chosen certain ones. So we can, to your point, with the uncertainty ahead, we can, depending on what dollars come in, because I want to be very transparent with that kind of inflation that can happen within a year, right? And we will try to lock in the bids sooner than later so that they will commit to a dollar figure today and have to commit to that next summer. The longer we wait on that, the higher those dollars can be. If it comes in high, then we can go to some of the items on the list that I'll talk to the principals about. And things that aren't mechanical in nature, fixing and repair, might get pushed down the list. And I would hope, and I feel comfortable that our building principals will feel very comfortable with me being transparent and talking to them about that. And like I said, the $14.4 million on June 4th, it has some lists there, but we're not ready to write POs and make determinations yet. So I wanted to put some dollars in reserves.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beeler. Other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to award the professional services agreements to the listed vendors as presented?
So moved.
All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Any opposed vote nay. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Thank you so much, Dr. Keeley. We appreciate your work on that. We'll move on to the first reading of revisions to board policies. Dr. Thacker.
Thank you, President Riley and Board of Trustees. PHM's Neola associate, Mr. Ryan Snoddy, met with PHM's Board Policy Committee on March 27th to review the current update to our board policies. The policy committee includes Board Attorney Jeff Johnson, Board Policy Liaison Mr. Chris Riley, Ms. Lucia Ramey, Ms. Rachel Huggenboom, and me. Following the committee's review, the revisions have been processed in-house to get the policies in the pre-adoption format, which is what is being presented to the board this evening. There are 6 revised policy and 1 new policy scheduled for first reading this evening. These policies are the first group to undergo revisions from this most recent updates that I asked Board Attorney Mr. Jeff Johnson to present the policies to you. Mr. Johnson.
President Riley and members of the school board. As Dr. Thacker indicated, there are proposed revisions to 6 existing policies and 1 new policy that are up for a first reading this evening. First, policies 3217, 5772, 7217, and 4217 weapons. The proposed revisions to these 4 policies indicate that possession of a firearm on school property in violation of Indiana law is a Class D felony. Additionally, it adds the definition of a firearm as any weapon that is capable of expelling, designed to expel, or that may readily be converted to expel a projectile by means of an explosion. Next, policy 5111, determination of legal settlement and eligibility for enrollment of students without legal settlement in the corporation. Proof of Indiana residence. The proposed revision to this policy adds that all disciplinary due process procedures applicable to in-district students will apply to transfer students as well. Next is policy 6250, required ADM counts for the purpose of state funding, and verification of residency for membership. The revisions to this policy reflect that state and federal law require that the fall ADM count shall be made on October 1st or some other date to be set by the Indiana State Board of Education. And lastly, this evening is policy 6140, depository agreements and digital payment applications. This is a new policy which would require the school board to adopt a resolution every 5 years identifying the banks where the PHM fiscal officer may deposit funds of the school corporation. This also includes PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. The board may make changes at any time it deems that it's in the best interest of the school corporation without waiting for the next 5-year window.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And for the benefit of school board members, especially those who have most recently joined the school board, just a little bit of orientation on this. And I won't be repetitive because I know I've said this in the past, but so Neola is an organization that tries to take recently enacted legislation and draft policies that are, for lack of a better term, personable for school corporations. And when the policy committee meets, the representative from Neola presents us literally with about 500 pages of policies that Neola has come up with that they suggest for us. We have a standing practice in our policy committee that we only forward to the school board those suggested policies that are actually required by law. So we weed out all of the other policies that are maybe suggested or recommended, and we give you only those policies that are absolutely required, so that if we did not adopt these policies, we'd be in violation. So just a little bit of context and background. With that context and background, any questions for Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Riley, I don't know if it's a question, Mr. Johnson, but the funding changes that are occurring from the state legislation and how the ADM count works, and if somebody someplace and they end up someplace else a day after the funding account, I wonder if there's something we want to take a look at there from a board policy perspective. Maybe the answer is no, but I do feel that's a section that we might want to think about a little more closely, and the impact that might have on us. I mean, if somebody decides to leave a school and come back to Penn, they get to come back to Penn regardless of whether they're on the count or not. And I just think that's something we ought to just
That's
understand.
interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Let's talk.
Yep. The other thing I would just say, Mr. Johnson, thank you. We're so lucky to have you as our board attorney and all the work you've done for the Educational Foundation. And just thank you so much for all this. You're a great job.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Other questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Thacker. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you to the other members of the policy committee. We appreciate your work in presenting this information to the board. The board will take action on these policies at the June 23rd, 2025 board meeting. And I'll now move on to the hearing of visitors. Members of the public, this is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board if they so choose. Typically, I have a set of guidelines and instructions that I read. It takes about 2 minutes for me to read them all. So before I venture into doing that, let me just first ask, is there anybody who would like to address the board? Okay. Ms. Rosinski, I'll recognize you in just a second. So we do have a member of the public who would like to speak to the board. At regular board meetings, the public is invited to address the board on general topics under this hearing of visitors without registering. A time limit of 3 minutes shall be enforced for persons wishing to speak during this hearing of visitors. Board Attorney Jeff Johnson will keep time and will let you know as your time is expiring. It is requested that names and addresses be stated at the beginning of your comments. Individuals may speak only once during the hearing of visitors. Please understand that personnel issues absolutely cannot be addressed during open sessions of the board. PHM is an employer and must comply with our own policies as well as state and federal employment law. These laws are designed to treat all employees fairly and to allow for a thorough review of matters as the board ultimately acts on a potential adjudicator in future discipline action. The school board sets the policy that guides disciplinary matters. It cannot allow for public discussion of employees when it could potentially be in an adjudicatory role as well. PHM has a clearly defined procedure for personnel issues. That is, concerns about individual employees or the district should be brought to the superintendent or to his designee. And I encourage anyone who has personnel concerns to voice that concern to the superintendent outside of a public meeting. Please use orderly and appropriate language and volume when addressing the board. Also, this is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board as a whole. Please refrain from directing your remarks to any particular member of the board, and please refrain from directing your remarks to members of the public who are here in attendance tonight. I respectfully ask that anyone wishing to address the board abide by these policies. The board's attorney is here to ensure that the privacy rights of employees are carefully balanced with the public's right of free expression. In your remarks, you're free to discuss issues, not employees. Your remarks should not include directed comments about any individual PHM board member, employee, administrator, teacher. The repeated violations of these instructions could result in the forfeiture of your remaining time allotment, and the board does not respond to questions or comments posed during the hearing of visitors. Okay, with that said, Mrs. Brzezinski, come on forward.
Day Road in Mishawaka. I was at the meeting last week for the superintendent contract, the special meeting. Congratulations, maybe a little bit early. I just want to say while I was sitting there, it reminded me that we are coming up on an anniversary of another special meeting. And that took place last year on May 14th. And that meeting was the resolution to ask that Mr. Chaffee resign. That was based on an article that was put out in April from Real News Michiana, owner of Clifton French. He published a defamatory article about the PHM board member that caused you to go ahead and put that resolution together with no evidence. Even in the resolution, it says alleged and if true. I'm assuming since a year has passed and we have not had any updates that you are unable to verify that rumor. I believe it has caused board member Chaffee probably considerable damages or harm. Since there have been no updates, let me update you. There has been a complaint that has been filed, and that would have been filed from Mr. Chaffee, and it includes a complaint against Clifton French, Real News Michiana, Anderson, Augustino, and Keller, and Michael Mish. In that complaint, you can look it up on my case on Indiana and read through it. What caught my attention was on April 11th, Matt Chaffee, Mike Mish, Tyler Gillian, Joe Grable, and Bill Lee participated in a conference call wherein Matt was encouraged and offered support if he would run against the incumbent St. Joe County Council member, Mark Root. Encouragement to run for the county councilman turned into threats from Mike Mish that should Matt. It is school related. It's. Are you stopping my time?
We have drifted now into a legal proceeding that's pending that does not involve a school corporation.
That is not true. Can I please finish? And you will see if it involves it or not. Can I please? These involve you.
Please make sure that your remarks are germane to the public school corporation.
I am. This is all. You guys did the resolution last year. So Mr. Chaffee has made statements. There have been news articles written about the statements he's made publicly here. So this is all pertaining particularly to PHM.
You're entitled to the balance of your time. We're just asking it pertain to PHM. Go
It
ahead.
is pertaining to PHM. I'm getting to that point. If you'd let me
Go
finish.
ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Should Matt Chaffee refuse to run unseat Mark Ruth, the outcome of Matt Chaffee's paternity action would be in doubt, but play ball and cooperate, Matt Chaffee would prevail in his paternity action. Pending before Mike Mish, close friend and client, Mr. Chickowitz, Jason Chickowitz, and the magistrate Lenny Zappia. In that, on December 19th, Judge Chickowitz entered an order in the paternity action. A recommendation is referee Lenny finding against Matt Chaffee all pending issues and awarding mothers sole legal and physical custody, ordering Chaffee to pay $24,000 of mother's attorney fees despite the guardian ad litem's recommendation that Matt Chaffee have sole legal custody and joint physical custody of his son. Now, in that complaint, it does frequent down to number 56. It says May 24th, the Penn-Harris-Madison School Board trustees, based upon a defamatory statements of C. French, entered a resolution calling for the resignation of trustee Matt Chaffee.
Your time has expired. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Brzezinski.
Please do the right thing and rescind it.
Thank you, Mr. Brzezinski. Anybody else? Mr. Dallas?
Well, good evening. I missed the last school board meeting, so I'd like to congratulate Dr. Short. Can't think of anybody that's been born for a position like this. So you've done a great job. I remember coming to previous meetings. I guess I've been doing these for about 4 years now. She actually got up here and answered some of my questions one time. I really appreciated that, and I think you'll be a really good superintendent. So really happy you got that. Also, it's a breath of fresh air. We finally have an accountant on the school board who gets emotional at the side of the spreadsheet. That was touching. I don't have any custody issues to bring up about the school. So that's really all I had. Congratulations, Dr. Short. Dr. Thacker, they didn't always see eye to eye with you, but I tell you what, I think your heart was in the right place. So it'll be sad to see you go, and that's all I got tonight.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Dallas. Anybody else? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on to board reports and requests. Board members, anything to report or request?
Yes. Just more of a comment to the staff here at Discovery, starting with Principal Cunha and then assistant principals, Mr. Kaufman and Mr. McMillan, who was world language teacher back when I was here. So I walked the halls here at the school about 15 years ago, and it still looks like it did back then. And some of my fondest memories of my childhood were my middle school years here, as well as my years prior to middle school, being in here in the summers a lot with my dad, being in that gym. So it's awesome being able, or awesome's not the proper professional word, I should say, quite a cool experience for me to be here as a board member now, knowing that I once walked these halls as a student. I never imagined then that I'd be here now. So kudos to you guys. Also, one other note with that, earlier this year at the start of the school year, Dr. Thacker's done it for at least the last few years that I'm aware of, but at the start of the school year, going around to the schools, and it was really neat. One of the schools that I went through was Discovery, and one of the coolest things about that day that I remember today is the amount of teachers that are still here 15 years later. That day saw Mr. O'Malley, Mrs. Crawford, Mrs. Manspeaker, Mr. Weaver in band. Those are some of the few teachers that I had during my years here. So it's really cool and speaks to the culture here at Discovery.
Thank you, Mr. Chaffee. I would say awesome is a perfectly suitable word for Discovery. Mr. Fox, we'd like to be recognized.
I would. Thank you very much. I got like a zillion things to do, so I'll try and do it in my 10 minutes or less here. First, I just like to say thanks to Discovery as well. Everything Mr. Chaffee said, I agree on. Just a wonderful presentation. It's always cool when the students get up and do presentations as well. So thank you for having that done. It's very, very nice of you to do it. Agenda item number 2. In April, we attended the Indiana School Board spring meeting where the ISBA, the Indiana School Board Association, gave an update on the recent legislation and activities in the state of Indiana. During this event, the Indiana School Board Association recognizes boards who are focused on exemplary governance and continuous improvement. And I'm proud to say that the 2024 PHM board was awarded the commendable emblem for their work. So even though Katie and I weren't part of that, we can look forward to it. So congratulations to you guys. Mr. Riley, I'll give you the emblem.
Thank you. That's cool.
You know, under the Dr. Thacker PHM philosophy of winning and pursuing excellence, I'd like to challenge the board to go from the status that we are today of commending and become an excellent I can't say the word, so maybe that's a problem. Exemplary board next year. So, Mr. Riley,
It's
if you put it on our list.
exemplary. Exemplary is the word.
Exemplary. There you go. Thank you. Exemplary board next year. In addition to that, Dana Sullivan won the individual exemplary award for her commitment to continuous improvement at the level 2. So congratulations, Dana. That's based upon a lot of hard work and extra continuing education that she put in, and congratulations. Now, Katie and I have Mrs. Bell and I have some work ahead of us to be able to get to that level as well. So we're looking forward to doing that. And again, appreciate your guys's, and I appreciate the 2024 board's work into doing that. A couple other things I just wanted to talk about. I attended the Madison Fish Fry, or better known as the video to honor Larry Beeler and all the work that he's put in. What a wonderful event. Julie Ladig, Madison was actively headed. It was a fantastic. We got there late, and understanding this thing was full. Madison Elementary was full the entire time. What a fantastic school. What a fantastic support they have for that school. And it was just a wonderful event to attend. And I'm so glad I'm back on the board to be able to attend things like that again. And it was, you know, Julie just did a fantastic job. Julie and her team, there were like little kids running around all over the place. It's such a family event that they do down there. And Mr. Beeler, you guys have a lot to be proud of down there, and a lot to be proud of what you have done as well. Got a chance to attend the senior recognition where, as I mentioned earlier, Noah was a big winner for a lot of going on. $22 million, my understanding, of scholarships were awarded to our senior. And during the Dr. Thacker era, I believe it's over $222 million of scholarships awarded to our seniors going forward. What a fantastic event. I was going to go to it. I kind of, do I really want to go to it? I couldn't believe it was so much fun. The high school put a tremendous job of pulling that together. It was just a wonderful event. I was so excited to go to it, and already looking forward to it next year. The other thing I want to talk about was Running is Elementary that went on at Elm Road. 600 elementary 4th and 5th grade students participated. This was like a family affair get together. It's probably the only time that all of our elementary students get together. People were sitting out, they had little tents, families were all over the place. What a wonderful event that is as it goes. And again, it was just like an elementary family reunion where all these people got together and saw each other. And it was so exciting to see that event occur and to see the team get together. I guess the last thing, Mr. Riley, I want to point out is, this is the first year of the Penn men's volleyball, and they are having an outstanding season thanks to Team Watts and the coaching that they're doing. And, I just want to throw out a recognition to what a great job they're doing their first year out there. So
absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Apologize for being so long, but a lot of cool things to talk about.
Lots of cool things, and no apology necessary, Mr. Fox. We appreciate your comments. Any other school board members, reports or requests?
Okay, I'd like to say something. First of all, thank you, Fox, for the recognition. I'd like to ask Mrs. Cunha a question. I didn't do this earlier when you were talking, but I am a Schmucker Spartan like Noah. However, my 4 kids all went through Discovery, and one of my favorite things here was the one book, one school. Is that still happening here?
Because I also was a Schmucker Spartan, but
All
I
right.
always tell the students that I did go to Schmucker because Discovery wasn't built yet.
Same.
So that kind of was the reason. But yes, One Book, One School still goes on every year. We have a great group of teachers and parents that work on it every year. Anita Weaver is our chair, and she continues it each year. We actually are a year ahead. So we have the book already ordered, and we'll be doing it from right after Thanksgiving break on to winter break, which is a great way to propel us into the winter season with the whole school reading the same book.
That's awesome.
Yep. It's a really nice unifying community school event.
Yes, it is a great event. I was one of the readers for the books, and I love to read. And I was one of the people that screened the books from like a parent perspective.
Yes.
And it was like my favorite thing in the summer was to like get all these books I had to like read and tell my kids, oh, you got to read this one. You got to read this one. So
yeah, you did a great job for us. For
well,
a
it
lot of
was
years.
fun, but I'm glad it's continuing. That's what I was most curious about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. Mrs. Bell?
I wanted to just agree with everything Mr. Chaffee said regarding Discovery Middle School. I too was a student here back in the day, like 17 years ago, which sounds scary when you say it out loud like that. And then I had the privilege of returning here as the 8th grade assistant girls basketball coach when I was teaching at Prairie Vista. I was telling Dr. Keeley when I was sitting here, I just remember being in the cafeteria like it was yesterday, and Mr. McMillan was one of my teachers, and he was also a track coach here and taught me that after I did track, I don't really like to run very much. And so I did learn that. And I'm happy to say, all this time later, Mr. McMillan, I still do talk all the time, but I don't get in trouble for it by my teachers. So thank you for having us. This was such a wonderful night, and it's great to be back.
Thank you, Mrs. Bell. Other school board members? Just for a little context on commendable versus exemplary recognition from ISBA, just so the public's aware, Indiana School Board Association issues these recognitions to school boards, not based as a value judgment on our performance. Actually, what they base our commendable ranking on is how many of the classes that they offer that we attend outside of the time that we spend here with you in public meetings and working together. So if school board members attend classes that are offered by ISBA, we accumulate points, and we are recommended to accumulate 25 points per year. And once we cumulatively get up to a certain amount, then we get exemplary service. So right now we're at commendable, and we're not far from exemplary. So I join Mr. Fox in encouraging all our colleagues on the school board to attend as many of those ISBA classes as you can, because they really are rewarding. And I also join all of my colleagues on the board in thanking you here at Discovery so much for tonight's presentation. It never ceases that when we come to one of these schools and hear from our parents and our students and see what you're doing, it raises the hair on the back of my head. Just never ceases. You guys are just amazing. Appreciate the presentation from the students from Penn and from Discovery. And we're gonna miss you, Noah. We really are, man. You come back and see us, okay? You graduate from Stanford, go to law school, and come back and see us, because we're gonna miss you. And we look forward to seeing you again at some point in the very near future. So there's no further business before the board. I'll take a motion to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed vote nay. The motion carries by a vote of 7-0. We're adjourned at 7:54.